Lila was a rising YouTuber known for her urban exploration videos. Her channel, Lila's Lost Places, had gained a loyal following of thrill seekers who loved watching her venture into abandoned buildings, forgotten tunnels, and eerie ghost towns. She thrived on the adrenaline rush and the views that came with it, but her hunger for the next big video often pushed her into dangerous situations. One day, Lila received an anonymous tip about an abandoned psychiatric hospital on the outskirts of town. The message read, "The hospital was shut down in the 1980s after a series of mysterious deaths. No one dares to go there anymore. Perfect for your channel, right?" Attached was a set of coordinates. Lila's curiosity was piqued. She knew her subscribers would love it. Ignoring the warnings from her friends, she packed her camera gear and set out late in the afternoon. By the time she arrived, the sun was setting, casting long shadows over the crumbling building. The hospital loomed before her, its broken windows and graffiti-covered walls exuding an air of menace. She hit record on her camera and began narrating. "This is it, guys, the infamous Ridgewood Asylum. Let's see what secrets it's hiding." Lila entered through a side door, her flashlight cutting through the darkness. The air was thick with the smell of mildew and decay. Peeling paint hung from the walls like dead skin, and the floor creaked under her boots. She filmed everything, narrating her thoughts and reactions. As she explored, she found remnants of the hospital's past: rusty gurneys, shattered medicine bottles, and patient files scattered across the floor. But something felt off. The deeper she went, the more she felt like she was being watched. She brushed it off as paranoia and kept filming. In one of the rooms, she found a child's doll sitting upright on a chair. Its glassy eyes seemed to follow her. "Creepy," she muttered, zooming in on it. As she turned to leave, she thought she heard faint laughter echoing down the hallway. She froze, her heart racing. "Hello?" she called out, but there was no response. Lila continued exploring, determined to finish her video. She stumbled upon a locked door with a sign that read, "Staff only." The lock was rusted and easily broken. Inside, she found a staircase leading down to the basement. Her viewers loved basements. They were always the creepiest part of any building. She descended, her flashlight flickering. The basement was colder and the air felt heavier. She found herself in a long corridor lined with padded cells. The walls were scratched with words like, "Help me," and "Don't trust them." She filmed everything, her voice trembling as she narrated. At the end of the corridor, she found a room with a single chair in the center. Chains hung from the ceiling and the walls were covered in strange symbols. As she stepped inside, her camera began to glitch. The screen flickered and static filled the audio. "What the hell?" she whispered, tapping the camera. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind her. She spun around, but no one was there. Her flashlight flickered and went out, plunging her into darkness. Panic set in as she fumbled to turn it back on. When the light returned, she saw a figure standing in the corner of the room, a tall, shadowy silhouette with glowing eyes. Lila screamed and bolted for the door, but it wouldn't budge. The figure began to move toward her, its footsteps echoing in the small room. Desperate, she swung her camera at the door, breaking the lens but managing to force it open. She ran down the corridor, the sound of heavy breathing following her. As she reached the stairs, she tripped and dropped her flashlight. In the dim light, she saw the shadowy figure crawling toward her, its limbs bending in unnatural ways. She grabbed the flashlight and scrambled up the stairs, slamming the basement door shut behind her. She didn't stop running until she was outside, gasping for air. The hospital was silent, but she could feel eyes watching her from the broken windows. She jumped into her car and sped away, vowing never to return. When Lila got home, she reviewed the footage. Most of it was corrupted, static, and distorted. Images filled the screen. But in the few clear frames, she saw something that made her blood run cold. The shadowy figure was in nearly every shot, standing just out of focus, watching her. She uploaded the video with the title, "I Shouldn't Have Gone to Ridgewood Asylum," and a warning to her viewers never to visit the place. The video went viral, but Lila never made another one. She deleted her channel and disappeared from social media, leaving her fans to wonder what really happened that night. Every town has its secrets, but ours? Ours was buried in the walls of an old forgotten house on the edge of town. Introduce the protagonist, a young urban explorer named Mia, who ventures into abandoned buildings for her YouTube channel. She's confident, adventurous, and always looking for the next thrill. Mia learns about an old Victorian mansion in the countryside that's been sealed off for decades. The locals tell her to stay away. Rumors of disappearances surround the house, but she dismisses the warnings as superstitious nonsense. Mia arrives at the mansion at sunset, her camera in hand, filming for her audience. The house is decrepit, with peeling wallpaper, broken windows, and eerie silence. Strange details begin to unsettle her. A portrait of a family where the eyes seem to follow her. A grandfather clock that starts ticking even though it's broken. Faint whispers that seem to echo from nowhere. While exploring the rooms, Mia stumbles upon a locked door at the end of a hallway. The door appears unremarkable, but the air feels heavier around it. She decides to break the lock. Inside, Mia discovers a child's bedroom frozen in time. Toys are scattered on the floor. A small bed is perfectly made, and a mirror is draped with a sheet. On the wall, written in faded crayon, is the phrase, "Do not play with her." Mia brushes it off and keeps exploring. The tension builds when the mirror begins to fog up as though someone is breathing on it. A small handprint appears, and behind Mia, the faint giggle of a child echoes. Panicking, she tries to leave, but the door slams shut. Mia's flashlight flickers, and when it stabilizes, she sees a doll sitting on the bed that wasn't there before. Its head slowly turns to face her. Suddenly, shadows swirl in the corners of the room, forming into a ghostly figure of a little girl. The child whispers, "She won't let you leave." Mia realizes the house isn't just haunted. It's a trap. The spirits of the previous victims begin to manifest, their twisted forms trying to warn her. Mia fights to escape, but the house seems alive, pulling her deeper into its clutches. As she reaches the front door, the whispers turn into screams. The last shot is from her camera, lying on the floor, recording the empty doorway. Mia's screams fade into silence, leaving the viewer wondering if she made it out or joined the other lost souls.